I'm learning on this journey, you have to allow yourself to be fluid, because a lot of the definitions and schemas that we built in our brains in terms of this is what this word is, like discipline or even time management, it all changes depending on what you do. You know, time management for me is, hey, I technically have the time I'm up to do whatever work I want to do. I can fit it around my life. You know, I remember earlier this week we had a funeral to go to, and then because we were on that side of town, we went to visit my wife's grandparents. Well, I just worked from the nighttime all the way till I got sleepy, you know, or until I think I had a headache that day. But the next day, I just made up for it from basically working from the time I was up to right before I went to sleep. So be fluid, allow your brain to you know, just change and evolve and adapt. You know, what may have once been the norm doesn't have to always be the norm. You know, I've been listening to some things where they say, like, literally school was built for the like the 40s and the 50s, the industrial age. You know, we are training people to think like this so that when we plug them into this system, they already know how to learn and do whatever. But this is 2019. Things aren't the same. You know, time management for me may be completely different than it is for the music artist, than it is for the social media manager, than it is for the website developer, you know. But as long as you're being productive, moving towards your goal, getting things accomplished, who cares how you do it? Who cares what time frame you're on? I mean, meet your client deadlines, of course. But I'm just saying, who cares if you get it all done before 12 or before 5 or before 11 p.m.? You know, do what works for you. And I'm learning, you know, don't condemn yourself either. You know, a lot of times we'll be like, well, I know I have, let me not say us, but I know I have a bad habit of, like, let's say it may be 10 o'clock and I'm still working, and I'm like, oh man, I didn't get enough work done. But I did. And it's not like I wasted the day. It could have been like that day, maybe my wife wasn't feeling good, so I kind of took over the whole breakfast, getting the kids ready and feeding them type stuff in the morning, and that's okay. I still got the work done that I wanted to. It's just like, is you just shifting the time frame, you know? So guys, I just encourage you, be fluid, be disciplined, because every day I do have to say, hey, like, you can't just, you know, lay around your office, or if you're working from home, I'ma just chill at home, you know, relax, sleep all throughout the day or whatever the case. But, you know, guys, do what works for you. I said that a lot, and I will always say, do what works for you, what works for your family. Remember, we're supposed to be trying to make a life that is catered around what we need, not the other way around. You know, and I've been in a situation where I've had a job to where, you know, like, I tried to build everything around that job because they were paying me a great salary, you know, and I was just like, okay, I got to do whatever I got to do to keep this job. But now that I'm out of that situation and God has blessed me to start my own company, it's like, okay, what are important events? Let me build around those, you know, like if, like, my daughter's birthday is coming up, it's like, okay, if I know her birthday is going to be on Friday, well, let me work hard all throughout the week. And then when I take off Friday, that way I'm not feeling guilty. Like, this is why I work so hard, so that I can enjoy her birthday with her and make it as special as I can. You know, so guys, I just challenge you, keep changing your mind, adapt, be teachable, the whole nine. Because, you know, the world is changing, mindsets are changing, and you can be as great as you want to be. You can be as great as you desire to be, as great as you dream to be, but you're the only person who will limit it. I've talked about this before, but you guys got to, like, watch The Matrix, like that movie that really, to me, like, breaks it down. It's like, man, he didn't even know all this stuff was possible until he got out of himself. You know, he chose to believe in something. And then, you know, they put him back in there, and they're like, oh, you can do all this stuff? He's like, who? How? He didn't even realize, like, the whole entire time he could have been doing the same stuff. He just didn't have the right perspective. He didn't have the right knowledge. He didn't put himself in a situation to where he could do these different things. He was technically able to do the same stuff prior. He just didn't know it. And, I feel like that's how it is in the world. We're used to being in this system, just going on and on and on. And we're doing what everybody else does as opposed to being, who we're called to be, walking in purpose, not walking in fear. And man, it's such a blessing. And you'd enjoy life. You can't be worried about, my mom said this, my dad said this. Well, if I do this, my friends are going to think this. Like, who cares? It's so easy to get caught up in the comparison trap, comparing, I'm married with kids. Well, let me compare myself to my buddy and, his wife and his kids. Well, their house looks better, or, oh, they drive this. Like, what does it matter? They could drive all of that and live in a huge house and be on the verge of divorce or be upset with each other. I mean, it's the same thing in business. Oh, well, this accounting firm, they got 8 people on staff and it's just me and my part-time helper. Like, what does it matter? They may be stressed out about the foreclose and you could be doing great. So guys, don't even worry about other people and what they're doing. What are their opinions? What are they going to think? Do what works for you, and do it to the max. Don't just do it tentatively. Just do it. But I know I've covered a lot here. Discipline, being adaptable, evolving. Make it happen, guys. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Until next time.